For Eric J on Sports, I'm Eric J, and this is what I think. Every so often, there's a debate over whose career would you rather have in sports. Most of the time, the debate centers around players like Joe Montana or Tom Brady. Would you rather be Joe Montana or Terry Bradshaw, having gone to only 4 Super Bowls and being undefeated with perfect attendance? You went 4-0 in your Super Bowls. Or would you rather be Tom Brady, who went to 10 Super Bowls but only won 7? Or would you rather be Michael Jordan or LeBron James? Michael Jordan went to 6 NBA Finals and won all 6. Or would you rather be LeBron James, who went to 10 NBA Finals but only won 4? In that instance, both players went to finals in 40% of their career, 6 out of 15 for Michael, 10 out of 22 and counting for LeBron, but Michael was 6-0 while LeBron was 4-6. But then if you compare them to Bill Russell went to 12 in 13 years and won 11, while Jerry West went to 9 in 14 years and won 1. So whose career would you rather have? But the debate that I heard most recently was the one that I thought was most interesting. It was the question of whose career would you rather have? Allen Iverson or Robert Horry? Now, for those of you who don't follow basketball closely enough, or for those of you who probably can't visualize what I'm saying, Robert Horry played for the Houston Rockets, the Phoenix Suns, the Lakers, and the San Antonio Spurs. He won 2 championships with Houston, he won 3 championships with the Lakers, and then he won 2 more championships in San Antonio. Robert Horry has 7 rings. There used to be a time when the guys with the most non-Celtic rings, and when I say non-Celtic, I mean guys who played with Russell during the Celtics era. Russell has 11, and a lot of the guys he played with have 9, 8, 7 rings. But the guys with the most non-Celtic rings were Michael and Scotty, because they had 6 rings each from their time with the Bulls. But by the time Robert Horry finished the 2007 season, Robert Horry was the greatest non-Celtic winner in NBA history. No other player in NBA history has more rings that didn't play for Russell Celtics than Robert Horry. Robert Horry has 7, 1 more than Michael. Robert Horry has 7, 1 more than Scotty. But Robert Horry is not a player who, when you say Hall of Famer, you immediately say yes. Robert Horry is a player who, when you say Hall of Famer, you say, well, baby. He was a starter on those Rockets teams, but he was essentially a role player because they had Akeem Olajuwon and Clyde Drexler, and Kenny Smith was a role player on those teams. He was a part-time starter, but was a role player with those Lakers teams of Shaq and Kobe and Derek Fisher and Rick Fox. And during certain seasons, Glenn Rice and A.C. Green, and it's so on and so on. Mitch Richmond was on one of those teams. Robert Horry was a role player, but he hit some of the biggest shots in NBA history. And with San Antonio, those were the Duncan, Ginobili, Parker, Sean Elliott Spurs. And Robert Horry was a role player, as was Steve Kerr. So he was a role player. But he was a role player who always hit big shots. He was a role player who always elevated teams and who won championships, and he has 7 rings. Right now, there is a debate because Michael Cooper has been a finalist for the Hall of Fame. And Michael Cooper played his entire career for the Los Angeles Lakers, and Michael Cooper has 5 rings. And he went to 9 finals with the Lakers. The same as Magic Johnson. He has 5 in 9. And he's been Defensive Player of the Year. And he was an all-defensive player most of his career. And so he was a finalist for the Hall of Fame. He didn't get voted in, but he was a finalist. But they're saying, how can a career bench player be a Hall of Famer? He's not an automatic yes. But there are people who feel like an all-defensive player, Defensive Player of the Year, 5 championships in 9 trips to the finals, probably deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. But there are players who have won championships who don't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. Michael Jordan spent his first 6 seasons in the NBA not winning championships. And then in 1990, the Chicago Bulls drafted a player named Scott Williams. And Scott Williams joined the Bulls in 1991 and played 3 seasons with the Chicago Bulls, 91, 92, and 93. And if you followed Michael Jordan's career, you know that Michael Jordan won his first 3 rings in 91, 92, and 93. But Scott Williams was a glorified bench warmer. He was a role player. He was a journeyman from the word go. At the end of the 93 season, the Bulls decided to trade Scott Williams somewhere else. So for 94 and 95, Michael Jordan didn't win championships. He didn't play in 94, he was playing baseball. And he only played half of 95, but he came back and they went to the playoffs and they lost to the Orlando Magic of Shaquille O'Neal and Penny Hardaway. But Scott Williams was walking around during 94 and 95 saying, Michael Jordan couldn't win a championship until I showed up, and once I left, he didn't win one. Until 96 when he did. But Scott Williams was able to say that for 2 full years. Michael Jordan didn't win a championship till I showed up, and once I was gone, Michael Jordan didn't win. The Bulls didn't win. Scotty didn't win. And he was telling the truth because he was there when they won and he was not there when they didn't. So he was telling the truth. So yeah, you can get championships and not be important. But the debate is, would you rather be Robert Horry with 7 rings for 3 different franchises, or would you rather be Allen Iverson? Allen Iverson was a perennial all-star. Allen Iverson was the first overall pick in the draft. Allen Iverson was an MVP, even though that MVP probably could have gone to Shaquille O'Neal. Allen Iverson was an MVP of the league, a perennial all-star. Allen Iverson changed the way people looked at basketball players. Michael Jordan brought in the baggy shorts. Allen Iverson took that to another level. Guys like God Shamgon and Isaiah Thomas had great crossovers. Tim Hardaway had a great crossover, but Allen Iverson's crossover was next level. And a lot of players wanted to handle the ball like Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson was 5'11", but was super fast and could jump and could shoot and could get to the basket and was tough and could do whatever he wanted to do on the court. There's an iconic video of Allen Iverson at 5'11" crossing over Michael Jordan at 6'6" and leaving Michael Jordan in the dust on his way to making a shot. Allen Iverson changed the game in a lot of ways. He changed the way players looked. He wouldn't wear a suit when he would get off the bus on his way to games or on his way to practice. Allen Iverson would wear whatever it was he wanted. He would wear the fashion of the day. And a lot of other players were wearing the fashion of the day. So much so that Commissioner David Stern had to institute a rule that says you have to wear a suit if you are coming to a game, because people thought Allen Iverson looked like a thug or a gangbanger when he got off the bus. Allen Iverson was an iconic player. He changed basketball in a lot of ways, on the court and off. But Allen Iverson was only able to get to one NBA final. And it just so happens that that one NBA final was the 2001 NBA Finals, where Allen Iverson's Philadelphia 76ers ran into Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant's Los Angeles Lakers, coached by Phil Jackson, and the Lakers coming off a 2000 NBA final where they defeated Reggie Miller's Indiana Pacers in 6 games, defeated Allen Iverson's Philadelphia 76ers in 5. Allen Iverson won the first game, and then the Sixers proceeded to lose the next 4. With current Clippers coach Tyronn Lue guarding Allen Iverson because Lue was just as fast as Iverson. He couldn't stop him, but he could stay in his way. And a variety of bigs who couldn't shut down Shaquille O'Neal, the Lakers won the championship, and Shaquille O'Neal won his 2nd Finals MVP award, and Allen Iverson, who was the league MVP that year, was left holding the bag. Allen Iverson never took a team back to the NBA Finals. Allen Iverson left Philadelphia, went to Denver, couldn't get Denver to the NBA Finals even though it was him and Carmelo Anthony on the team, and he finished his career as a multi-time All-Star with an MVP award, having changed the game on the court and off, but only 1 trip to the finals. It's kind of like Jerry West. Jerry West went to the finals 9 times, but he only won once. Bill Russell went to the finals 12 times and won 11. So if you're looking at the debate of whose career would you rather have, Allen Iverson's or Robert Horry, what do you want out of your career? Do you want to be a winner and a perpetual champion, or do you want to be a perpetual all-star and a Hall of Famer, but one of those guys who is on that team with Karl Malone and John Stockton and Charles Barkley and Patrick Ewing and Dominique Wilkins, who never won a championship? Carmelo Anthony and Allen Iverson are on that team. Grant Hill is on that team. Some of the greatest players to ever play the game, Elgin Baylor, is on that team. Some of the greatest players to ever play are on that team of guys who were super talents, but never won a championship. Damian Lillard is now in Milwaukee because he wants to win, because he couldn't win in Portland. Kevin Durant is bouncing from franchise to franchise trying to win because he originally could not win in Oklahoma City, whereas Other players, Russell Westbrook through the first 10-12 years of his career, wanted to win MVPs and average a triple-double for teams that were only winning 40 out of 82 games. James Harden is with the Clippers now and saying he's not a player who can fit into the system. He is the system and the other players have to adjust to him. He wants his stats. He wants his notoriety. He currently does not have a championship, and seemingly with the attitude that he has, he never will. So whose career would you rather have? Robert Horry, who was a role player, who has 7 rings and may never get to the Hall of Fame, or Allen Iverson, who was a perennial all-star and an MVP but only went to the finals once and does not have a championship? It's an interesting debate. Seemingly, in a lot of instances, you could go either way, and you would not be wrong whichever way you went, but it's something to think about. Remember to like and share this video and subscribe to this channel, and visit the new Eric J on Sports website, and follow me on Facebook at Eric J on Sports 1, and on Instagram and Twitter at Eric J on Sports. And for Eric J on Sports, I'm Eric J, and this is what I think.